I'm approaching the last village on this road. I've been walking on this road for an hour now and haven't seen a single car. There are only a few old folks that live up in this village and a few dogs, equally as old as the folks. The old people do not farm or tend their fields very much anymore. There's no young people left to do it. And you can see that this field, though sparsely used in the summertime, is now allowed to go back to nature for the winter. The tea fields are overgrown a little bit there, still being handled a little bit, but it's only going to be another 10 years or so, and these villages will basically be empty. Under the spreading leaves of the chestnut tree, I sold you, and you sold me. Look at the chestnut tree, look at this. Kuri, I can never say it right, as they're called in Japanese. Very prickly and spiny, and delicious chestnuts within. This tree is just brimming over with them. It's almost time to enjoy them. They fall to the ground, as you can see here, and the animals come along and can open them up. See how this one's been opened up? And here's the yummy chestnuts inside. We're just crossing over into the last village here, on this little narrow bridge. Talking a moment ago about how things are changing. Farmers are not able to care for their fields, and look, that field used to be covered with tea right there. It's been ripped out. Some of the younger people must have come up and ripped it out. Not sure why. The old people that live up here have their relatives down in the city, and they come up and visit a couple of times a year and do whatever needs to be done. These big walls here to keep out the wild boar, another hazard in the mountains. Usually when I'm walking up here, I usually encounter one or two oldsters walking along. They don't have much else to do but just walk along. They're very nice people. My poor Japanese keeps me from having a good conversation with them. Oh, more kuri. But it's always nice to chat with them. Oh, konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. すみません。これ写真撮っていいですか？ビデオ撮っていいですか？わあ、綺麗ですね。すみません。今日の村の名前は何ですか？奥千又。奥千又。ああ、そうですか。古いですか？もう
何百年だかわかんないです。
わかんない。あ、そうですか。はい、すみません。さよなら。And almost on cue, she appears. Wow. She said she doesn't know. I asked her how old this village is, and she said she's not sure how old it is. I think it goes pretty far back. Not as old as we might like to imagine, because these mountains are very, very inhospitable. I mean, not inhospitable, inaccessible is the word to use. There she goes across the bridge. She's going to go down and tend some of that stuff. That's a doggy. Isn't it interesting? Even in the mountains of Japan, the dogs are on leashes. In the countryside in the States, any dog worth his mustard will be roaming free. Just a little bit of laundry. To me, laundry is a barometer of the health of a household. How many people are there and their age can be indicated and shown by in relatively easy manner by looking at the laundry. Kind of personal, but nevertheless. Hey, there's the shrine. This is the community shrine. Let's go up and have a look. You've seen this place before. I've brought other people from YouTube here. I brought Ryan and Eric here, and several others. Look at this old shrine. Maybe I'll have my oyatsu here. Old Shinto shrine. Every community in Japan will have a Shinto shrine as the centerpiece of the community. And just like the laundry is basically a status indicator and an indicator of health of the household, so are the shrines an indicator of the health of the village. You can see a little spider in the head, and you can see that this shrine is in sad state of neglect. This is a Shimeno prayer rope right here. See the paper on it? And it would have been hanging off of these rafters here, and it's simply fallen down and no one's taking care of it. Oh, hello, jumping sky. Okay, now it's time for my lunch. When you're hiking in Japan, it's a nice, if you want to have lunch in a nice place, look for the community Shinto shrine. There's usually a platform on the shrine, such as the one I'm sitting on right now. It's under a shady spot, and if you're respectful, the locals shouldn't mind you having a seat there to do that. Don't do that on Mount Fuji though. They don't like you doing that there. So usually I like to stop at the shrine at the platform, have a little bite to eat, look at the scenery, and before moving on. Now, the subject of bears is something I've wanted to talk about for a while. And I get a lot of email from people asking me about bears and what I do if I saw one. And basically, I'm not sure what the kosher response is to bears. I know you're not supposed to run away per se. But if I do get a bear that is following me, if I'm sufficient distance away from it, and if I can move away, but it seems to be following me, I use a trick that I learned from an old bear expert, a professor of mine who has had many, many encounters with bears, and has even been attacked by bears in Alaska. I carry at all times when I'm traveling my lunch. I carry 3 rice balls. 1, 2, 3. Tuna mayo, I think. Something like that. It's some mystery thing, I don't know what it is. I would like to grab something randomly. Anyway, 2 for me and 1 for the bear. That's right. I usually save the tuna mayo as 1 for the bear because it's nice and aromatic. So I'll have the 2 for me, and then I keep 1 rice ball in my pocket, thusly. And if a bear seems to be coming after me, seems to be moving in my direction, what I'll do is simply pull the rice ball out and drop it on the ground. Now the bears have excellent olfactory senses. They'll pick up on this right away and probably want to have a bit of a snack, giving me good time to make a safe retreat. Have I had to do this yet? Not yet. Have I had encounters with bears? Not in Japan, although I've had many encounters with bears in the United States. Some big bird is crossing overhead, I think. And never had to use any of these tactics. Another tactic to use is to take articles of clothing. My bandana, which I've removed for the sake of the giant hornets, but take something like this off and drop it on the ground. The bear will stop and sniff it. If you can drop items like that as you're retreating away, you might be able to get away safely. Just a little tip. Oh, and of course, don't forget, it's good to travel with a bear bell. I'm at the last village. I'll be putting on my bear bell momentarily. But now, I'm going to have a little lunch. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Autumn and the cold time comes early in the high mountains. And you can see up here in the rafters a sign of the impact that the cold nights have. This is a dead golden orb weaver, one of the big spiders that I often encounter thriving still, even now, in the valleys where I live. But this spider has been succumbed to the cold. It's very chilly now, and the night times are going to be very cold. I hope she was able to lay her egg sac before she died, hanging in her web. Here's an interesting old house, but what I find especially interesting is this structure. This is an old outhouse. Look at the roof, the window. If we could go around to the other side, we would find it has likely 2 stations. 1 for men and the other for seated business. And this door would be opened to remove the product of said endeavor. There you go. Old Japanese outhouse. Look at this house all boarded up. Like I said, not many people up here anymore. Friends, this is an especially distressing sight to me. You see how the shutters are closed on this door? And all the shutters are closed here on the balcony way as well? I've come by this house so many times, and the woman that lives here has invariably been out and about doing something, and we've chatted pleasantly and come to know each other over the years. She's very, very old, much older than the woman that we saw earlier, and her house is all closed up. I'm hoping that she's just gone away. Maybe she's down in the valley with her family, but my fears are perhaps otherwise. Maybe she's gone. This paper over the door here, that's a ofuda, Japanese luck charm. This may have had family name on it, although it's all rusted. There's another luck charm there. Breaks my heart. This house. Maybe I'll never see her again.